Alright, Badge is going to show you guys what he's getting ready to do with my thermostat. I'm going to tell you why he's changing it out.
From diesel or gas pacers to rocket-powered racers, nomads, go-mads, RVs, schoolies, they'll turn it, tweak it, tune it, fix it so smoothly. That's why he's Badge. Everybody needs one.
On my 07 Silverado Classic, it throws a code every once in a while that it's not getting up to proper temperature, and normally the reason for that is that the thermostat is stuck open. So on a cool evening, if I go out for a drive and I drive for 20 minutes, temperature doesn't get up to where the computer wants it to be, it throws the code and it just says it's not hot enough for driving around. Normally you get that because you have a thermostat that's stuck open.
See, this is a good day. We're here now. We're doing the thermostat on Neil's truck, which he just told. Look at, he's got grease on. Oh, Hero Soap's going to get a run for its money today. Okay, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you what I do, and everybody's going to shake their head and yada yada yada. You'll get over it. So I don't drain the antifreeze because that you waste yourself about 3/4 an hour draining the antifreeze, putting it in check. This is what I do. Take the rad cap off. Put a plastic bag in there and put it back in. And what that does is it'll put the engine in a vacuum when you take the bolts out. So what we're going to do is right down in here, I don't know if you can see that, Al. Right down in here is the thermostat housing. So we're going to take them bolts out of here and we'll take that off, this housing, and take that off. Now, these clamps right here are the stupidest things since sliced bread. I don't agree with them, but everybody puts them on there. They're spring-loaded, what they are. And they got a spot where you can lock them in, right? But usually it doesn't work. So what I do is just...
you just break my truck, is what you do.
Is put them and move them up the hose. Just move them up the hose. And then that way they're out of your way, right? And then we take because you don't want to put that back on with the hose on it because the weight will throw the O-ring out and all that stuff. You want to get all that weight off. So we'll take that hose off and I'll take them bolts out and I'll show you what we got.
It's amazing. If you put it above the radiator, it doesn't leak. Sorry.
No, it doesn't leak.
It's amazing.
Amazing.
When you raise it up above,
I
you don't
know,
have to
I
drain it
know.
all.
Okay,
That's
so
Canadian ingenuity right there.
We're taking these two bolts out, as long as they don't break.
Because then it goes from an easy job to a, oh crap, sorry Badge, I owe you a steak job. Who am I kidding? I owe him a steak anyway.
Okay, so now we took the thermostat housing off and you can see the thermostats right here, okay, with the O-ring on it and the gasket. So that's what we got to replace now. And what you're looking for is these scratch marks. If there's any scratch marks on it, chances are it's not working. So that's what we're changing. And the way I did it here, if you notice, and Neil will vouch for me, that we didn't even lose a liter of water, because when you take the water out that's in the top, it creates a vacuum and it can't get no air from the reservoir, so it just quits. So
and for you Americans, it's we lose less than a quart.
oh yeah, less than a quart. See, there you go.
What were the scratches you were talking about? I'm
Oh,
curious.
these ones here. See how it's scratched up on the side?
Oh, yeah.
Right here?
Yeah.
Chances are it's faulty.
That's what I thought. So look, new one.
Look at that. Oh, a new one. So we'll clean all this up and we'll put it all back on. Okay, now, don't be messing around too much with the housing. Because what happens, people uses grinders and wheels and takes it all up. Just scrape as much as you can away from your finger because this has got an O-ring on it. And don't put nothing on the O-ring. Like grease or oil, what it has a tendency of kicking it out. Like spitting it out. So just put it in there with some antifreeze. Put the housing on there. And put your bolts in it. And then put them in finger tight. No impact crap. Put it in finger tight. And then you gradually tighten it down the same on each side. And that'll tighten it right up. And you don't have to put a whole bunch of force on this. Because people put too much force on it and then they bend the housing and so on. We don't need to do that. All you're doing is holding the thermostat in. You're not holding the front wheels on. And you just tighten her up.
Old black truck's gonna feel like the belle of the ball after today.
Okay, you get it set, it's almost snug, and then you look and see how much of a gap you got there, right? There's very little gap there. And now you know you can snug it down. Like, I'm talking like 15 to 20 pounds, somewhere around there. Not very tight. Okay? Because there's no way, it's got no ring on it, and there's no way you can compress the metal together and the O-ring will compress, right? And then all you do is put that housing on, put the main water line back in. Okay, like so. And then put the clamp back on. Now, they got I'll tell you about these clamps. These clamps are a pain in the ass. But the only problem with them is they keep the right tension on the hose. Now, they got a whole bunch of pliers and stuff that they use to get these off, and all you're going to do is make Snap-on and Mac a whole ton of money because I don't know, I never got them to work, and I bought every possible conceivable combination, but an old pair of old cheap Harbor Freight pliers work just fine. Now, we only lost maybe a liter or a quart of water. That's it. So all you do is put it in, take the cap off, give it a couple of minutes, and it'll drain out itself, right? And drain back in. They start it up and everything, it'll be just good. Because this hose is still full of water. This one here. Because when you take it off, you put it higher in the rad, it can't leak out. This is in a vacuum, so none of the engine comes out. There's only that little bit of water in that pan. Very little. Like, that's all the water we got in that pan. That's it. Now, everybody goes and drains the water, drains the antifreeze out, and like I told you from day one, I'm a lazy bugger, and I'm do it the easy way. So that's what you do. Just put a vacuum plastic hose on a plastic bag on the cap and put it into a vacuum. Lift the main hose up above the rad, take the bolts out, put the thermostat in, and Bob's your uncle. I know you're waiting for more, but that's all you got. Sorry. And yeah, we're going to we'll make a Hero soap ad here in a minute. Perfect.
Badge. Everybody needs one. We love our badge. And just remember, he's not asking.